Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the difference between Class 2 braces correction with elastics and Class 2 correction with things like Herbst or Maras or Class 2 elastics, and how these are both different. So let's talk about MA one more time. So MA literally means mandibular repositioning. It works very similarly. It's basically a twin block. If you don't know what that is, you can go into my Straightsmile Solutions channel. You can look up those two keywords, either letter M, letter A together, MA, or you can look up twin block and watch all the content I already made on those subjects. But what you're doing in the MA situation is that you're 24 hours a day wearing your jaw more anteriorly repositioned, not unlike they do in sleep appliances that you make to help improve OSA. Very similar. The reason why these sleep appliances don't grow jaws in adults is because adults aren't growing. Although sometimes you're going to get a little CRCO shift temporarily. In kids, by sliding your lower jaw forward, you're stimulating your lower jaw to grow. Those muscles and everything get stimulated on the ramus and they grow a few inches, a few millimeters. And that can help to correct, depending on when you start, even a very severe Class 2 malocclusion, even a full step with 8-9 millimeters of overjet. If you get started early and if you time the treatment ideally, and if the patient is compliant, you can get an excellent outcome with MA. Now, whenever you're looking at a profile, and this is why I'm getting into CEFs, you need to always evaluate the profile and say, okay, one of the things I like to look at is the nasolabial angle. I like to look at the chin. I like to look at the E-line. I like to consider, is my patient male or female? Do they want a male or female look, or are they? And do they want one or the other look? I mean, there's a lot of things you got to keep into mind, and I hate to say that a certain look is more male and more female, but a stronger jawline is more quote unquote masculine in terms of society than a weaker jawline. So good questions. Don't assume your patients want one thing or the other. So yes, MA is going to grow the jawline supposedly, assuming you time it right a little bit. You know, obviously you can always stop early. You don't have to keep going, and will make a stronger profile, but it will not, and also MA will not retract or make the nasolabial angle look more obtuse. So here we've got a nice 90-degree nasolabial angle. I definitely wouldn't want it to go more flat. I would not want this lip to go more flat. Now, granted, this patient isn't very much Class 2. So this is not the perfect patient, but just things to look at. We're looking at the jawline. This patient has a decent E-line. If anything, the lips are behind the E-line. So if anything, we want things to move more forward, and we could use a stronger jawline here. So elastics, getting to Class 2 elastics. How do Class 2 elastics work? Similar to Herbst, Mara, Forces, all those work. So Class 2 elastics is pretty much similar to your Herbst, Mara, and all that, except for Herbst, Mara are much stronger. They're using pistons and springs. They're using a much higher force, which can damage teeth, roots, bones, especially if you haven't set it up properly, if you haven't done the things you need to do, if you haven't detorqued the incisors, if you haven't used the right wires. You can cause a lot of damage using Herbst and Mara. I personally don't use them. I think they're torture devices. I think now that there is Invisalign with MA, there's just zero reasons to need to use this, assuming your patients are compliant and you're picking the right patients. Class 2 elastics will cause some flattening possibly of the nasolabial angle, as well as definite proclination of the lower incisors. Of course, you don't want to do them on light wires. That will help. You can do them on really heavy steel wires. That will help. And it basically just kind of tips these teeth back and tips these teeth forward, and helps with a few millimeters potentially of overjet by canting the occlusal plane. That's all it does. It does not grow a jaw, does not grow a jaw, does not grow a jaw. I can't say that as many times. Class 2 elastics do not grow jaws. All they do is tip the teeth and cant the occlusal plane and camouflage a Class 2 look. So that is the difference. So in terms of profile changes, you will get none, except for at most maybe some flattening of the upper lip. There will be no other positive or negative profile changes. The only thing you'll see is incisors potentially tipping back, and these incisors possibly tipping forward. So when it comes to picking the right case for a Class 2, elastic correction, you want to pick someone who does not have lower flared incisors. And that is the point I wanted to get to, which is part of the reason why you must be taking CEFs on these type of cases. All right, thanks so much.